morning. It's a distinct pleasure for me to be able to introduce Shai. I brought him to the Mastery Circle about 4 years ago, and a lot has happened in between. But for those of you who don't know him and haven't met him, just some background information. He's an internationally acclaimed documentary filmmaker, a positive change agent, and the head of the Department for Film and Television at the Catholic University Xavier College in Mumbai, India, although he was born in the south of India in Kerala. Shaison has been recognized for his compassionate and humanist voice, emphasizing the potential of the human spirit, focusing on universal intrinsic needs, environmental awareness, and solving global issues through art and scope of film. He's the co-founder of Trilight Creations. Some of the notable organizations that have awarded him for his work on social issues and media are the United Nations, the US Embassy, the International Labor Organization, and the International Independent Film Awards. But now he needs more than a suitcase to carry around some 50 awards, international awards that he has received for his first feature film. This is the first feature film he has directed, The Face of the Faceless. And also the great news is that the film was selected to be one of the 120 films that are being considered for the Oscars. And so one of the reasons I wanted to have Shai speak again today is because very few people get to see their dream realized in so short a time, and to not only have it realized, but recognized and lauded and recommended. And so you met Shai when he was just talking about that this was the film that he wanted to make, a film that had been in his soul for a long time. It comes from a story that is real story, a real event that happened, but it also has taken on it the aura of a folktale, because it is an iconic story about forgiveness and about service. And so what Shai and I talked about this, what we thought we would do is that he's going to say some opening words. He's going to share the trailer with you. I'm going to ask him a few questions, and then it's going to be opened up for everyone to ask questions. So Shaison, Shai, gift, take it away.
Thank you, Ruth, for that great and wonderful introduction. And very good morning to each and everyone who all are present over here. Thanks to the Mastery Circle, because this is the second time that I am addressing this wonderful crowd. When I say wonderful crowd, I would say meaningful crowd. Why? Because we are all meant for a cause, and we are doing the level best for others. So you are very close to my heart. Thank you. So the film, The Face of the Faceless, is about a Catholic nun who was murdered in India in 1995. You may ask why she has been murdered. The answer is she was trying to uplift the poor and the oppressed, the places where she has been working. And I remember, or almost 4 years back, I had the opportunity to meet with you all, and Mary Grace and Sam Gleason has invited me to that event where we had the same Mastery Circle. And I expressed, as Ruth has clearly mentioned, I expressed my wish to make this film and narrated the entire story. I remember all people, those who were present, were so happy to hear that story. And they said, it's a heart-touching story, and wish you all the best. I think your wishes has given me a kind of a boost or given me a kind of a positive energy to move and reach to this stage today. It has been a long dream, almost 6 years. We have done a lot of studies and research on the theme because the film is based on a story, a biopic. You know, biopic, we cannot just bluff around. It needs to be based on truth, based on the incidents. And when you know the story, and when you start creating a film or making a film, I think it's going to be more difficult because people already know the story. And how do you make an interesting film? And that was really a task for me and our entire team. But today, when I turn back or when I look back, I'm so happy. Why? Because whatever I dreamed could almost achieve, and we are there now. The movie has already screened or released back in India on 17th November, and it's running successfully almost in all the theaters, even after 4 weeks. It's a rare chance for any of the films to get that. And last week, we had the show, or still continuing the shows, in Lamley Theaters in Los Angeles, where Bill was also one of the viewers of the film. So may I request Bill to speak few words, because you have seen the film. Rather than me talking about the film, I think as a viewer, could you just speak something for that film, please?
Well, I'm honored. Thank you, Shai. Yes, it covers the biographical parts of her life and the people that she is around and the circumstances that she faced. But what I appreciated, one of the main things, was the way that we empathize with her situation, the people that she is around. They're called untouchables, which means they are by design, they're born as a lower caste. It's a caste system to this day. And even just, I mean, it's like she's trying to get them help. She empathizes with them. There's a woman that's giving birth. There's a guy who's near death. The doctor won't help because the doctor is not of that caste. Well, I can't touch this person. I can't touch this person. Please. Okay, sit him up and I'll put the stethoscope on him, but I'm not going to touch him. And you go, this is a medical professional. We think, that's where we come from, that, always do good. But there are all these strictures and norms in that culture that are so deep. Anyway, that's just one thing. We get into the economic aspect and the ownership of the land, and I could go on and on. I don't want to take all your time though, but I was really affected, and you were so successful, Shai, in helping us empathize with these people who have nowhere to turn, who are helpless, who are faceless, and she steps in, and you go, gift from heaven.
Thank you, Bill, for that wonderful sharing. Yes, I couldn't meet you that day because I was behind the Oscar team that day, so I couldn't meet you. That I put it on the group. Yeah. So if somebody can help me to play that.
Dana's helping you.
पानी गंदा है ना? यही हम पीते हैं। चलो यहाँ कोई नहीं है। चलो थोड़ा पानी। हमारे ठाकुर साहब से बीज और खाद उधार लिया है, वो पैसा अब चुका दे।
സത്നയിലെയും ഉഡ്ഗഡിയിലെയും പാവപ്പെട്ട മനുഷ്യരുടെ ജീവിതത്തെക്കാൾ സങ്കടകരമാണ് അമ്മച്ചി ഇവിടുത്തെ ആദിവാസികളുടെ സ്ഥിതി.
इस सारी फसाद की जड़ वो औरत है. इसका कुछ ना कुछ तो उपाय निकालो अमर सिंह.
क्या करते हो तुम लोग?
हमारे गांव के बच्चे हैं मदर जी, बकरियां चराते हैं।
अगर हो सके तो आगे से बच्चे को बकरी चराने मत भेजना।
मदर जी, आप अपनी जिंदगी हमारे संघर्ष में क्यों बिता रही हो?
काम का पगार सिर्फ खाना.
अच्युत तो सिर्फ आदिवासी है, उनका पैसा नहीं है ना साहब.
तेरी हिम्मत कैसे हुई हमारे सामने बात करने की?
बात करेंगे. तुम लोगों को अपने गांव में आत्मसम्मान के साथ जीने का अधिकार है.
इस गांव में चाहे बीमारी आए, लोग मरे, इस औरत का उससे क्या?
Sister Rani Maria, this is your last warning.
ये लोग आपके गांव वाले या रिलेटिव तो नहीं लगते?
आप हमको छोड़ के मत जाइए मदर जी.
गांव वालों को कैसे जीना है ये हम तय करेंगे.
चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, मैं उनके साथ खड़ी रहूंगी. और दूसरों के लिए प्राण अर्पित करने से बड़ा और कोई प्रेम नहीं है.
Thank you for showing that. Yes, there is no greater love than giving oneself for others or sacrificing one's life for others. Ruth, do you
Yes,
wish to?
yes, I
take it up?
wanted to ask you several questions and then we'll open it up to everybody. So, Shai, from the filmmaking point of view, what was the challenge and how did you? I remember you're writing to me that you ended up having like 1,300 extras and most of them couldn't speak to each other because there's so many dialects in India, and that you had to work with people and train them for weeks before they could even take part in the film. Why don't you share with us some of the process, please?
All right. Ruth, as Ruth clearly has mentioned, that we had almost 150 artists from 16 states across India. And some of you may be knowing that every state in India, we have different languages, and even one state has got several languages if you go to from villages. So getting the right artist was a kind of a challenge. And the story happened almost 28 years back. 28 years back, India was completely different. So to create that 28 years back India was really a challenge. And the artist should look like the people from the village. Because now everyone started wearing jeans. Everyone having mobiles. There is an electric pole everywhere. There is a running water. So how do you create a situation which was almost 28 years back? So that was a challenge. So what we did, first, we did a thorough study, a kind of digging. What are things that really we need to project in the movie? So based on that, we started searching for locations. And as being a documentary filmmaker, I always believe that the visuals should match with your story because people are watching it, unlike reading or listening. So therefore, location plays a major role in the film. So searching for locations, we spent almost 6 months. And searching for the right artist, again 6 months. then getting them into the story, because the story happened, as I mentioned, 28 years back. So the people should know the situation. So we had to take them for a workshop in which we had to narrate the entire story and make them understand their roles. So you call it table reading, but we call it workshops. So which is happening from morning till evening. So we had several of them. So we made them understand what is the story is about and their part, their role is all about. Then we decided go for the shoot. So the entire process of scripting, finding locations, finding right people, and above all, finding the resources was the most difficult task. Even though the main character is a Catholic nun, but not even a single church has come up and said, yes, we will help you to make this dream come true. Okay, I have knocked every door possible. I have met every cardinal, bishops in India, requesting this story needs to be told. This story needs to reach out to people. Everyone said, yes, it's a beautiful story, but we don't have resources. We don't have money. You may please go ahead. Then at the end, I turned into myself and said, Shaison, why don't you look into yourself and make this film? Because you believe in it. And that was a turning point. I went to my own college and explained the whole situation. They said, we are with you. And the dean, Sandra D'Souza, and the director, Father Peso, they said, Shaison, let's do it. And that was a beginning. And 2020 onwards, we have been working, and we completed the film in 2022. Then from 2022 onwards, we were little struggling to get, there is a so-called censor board in India. You know, you can't just show the films as you shoot and as you have it. So therefore, we had little difficulty getting that censorship, but everything went on very well. And today we have the film, which has been screening around the world. We won 45 international awards. And as Ruth has clearly mentioned, now we are on the way to the Oscars by the grace of God.
Wonderful, Shai. I wonder whether you could also share something about the caliber of the musicians and the cinematographer in making this film, because as a first-time director, right, and you had made many documentary films before, but this is your first time as a feature film director, so the stakes are higher and the requirements are higher. How did you get so many luminaries, you know, from the film, cinematography, and music to work with you?
Hey, I did explain the story to them first, and they were aware of the story. But when you go in detail and explain to them, I think they understand as an artist. So they feel for the story, and they say that, yes, I would like to be part of this film. I remember when I explained the story to one of the famous cinematographers in Mumbai. He does films with the high profile like Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, and his remuneration is so high. But when I explained the story to him, he said, Shaison, I'm with you. I don't care about the remuneration. And I got him. And when I had with him, when he said yes to me, I used almost the same technique. Let's be very open. I used the same technique with the other people. You know, I got the editor who has done more than 120 films. I got the musician who has been very famous. And the same way, like we got the sound recordist who is a national award winner again. And we got the singers, all like Padma Shri, which means the highest award in India. So the singers have got the highest awards, and we managed to squeeze them into this film. As a result, it's not just my merit or glory, but everyone who worked in the film, they have put their level best. And as a result, today we have a wonderful film, a heart-touching film.
Okay, I'm going to ask just a couple more questions and then we'll open it to everybody here. So, Shai, do you feel that this was your destiny when you were making this film, that it wasn't just another film? Did you understand how significant it was going to be, other than you wanted to make the story? Was there something pulling you all the time that was beyond even the theme of the story?
Ruth, I strongly believe that, this was so close to my heart, just like a child. I have been nourishing it. I have been taking care every step. Of course, there were difficulties. There were blockages. I remember sometimes when we were shooting, the police came and stopped our shoot. They said, you can't. Imagine when you have 150 artists and another 250 extra people on the set, and the police coming in and stopping the entire shoot. And there are days I couldn't even think about how can I shoot the next day, because we had no budget. We had no resources. The producer and me, we both used to just sit in a room, close the door, and look at each other and start crying. What to do next? Because both our houses, both our flats were given to the bank in order to raise the money. And we did that. And nobody knows it. People think that, we are wealthy filmmakers, but the struggle which goes behind, nobody can understand. It's very difficult. And with that pain, I think all our pain is gone into this filmmaking, and that clearly reflects in the film. And those who have seen the film can feel it.
Beautiful. I wanted you to share that because I wanted to emphasize to what lengths artists will go to be able to realize their dream. And how many people do I know in the film industry who have put their houses up for mortgage or maxed their credit cards out and just didn't care because they knew they had to complete something. So I admire your bravery in all that. And the last question I would ask you is, since all of the screenings in India have been so successful, and I saw some of the footage of people waiting in line to give a testimonial. You had sometimes, 40, 50, 60 people waiting to say something about the film afterwards. Why do you think this theme of forgiveness is so important right now? Is there something in India that in particular that resonates with this right now, or is it internationally that you feel that this is a theme that people are inspired by and aroused by and want to talk about?
Ruth, I come from a kind of a Catholic background, Christian background, a strongly believer in God, especially in Christ. And let me go back to the words that he has said when he was on the cross. He said, I forgive the people. And that's what exactly the reflection, that's what exactly in the films too. The killer in the film kills Sister Rani Maria, and he goes to the jail. And after his conviction and the jail time, he comes back. When he comes back, there was only the mother of Sister Rani Maria who was there to receive him. And she said, let me kiss the hands which has got the blood of my daughter, and accepted him as one of her family members. I don't think such stories, of course, there may be stories, but I don't think so heart-touching thing which happened around the world. And this, I think there is so much that each one of us can learn from it, because for me, to forgive to forgive the person who has done something against me is the most difficult part. And the forgiveness itself has got the huge power in it. And we want to show that power and share with the world through this film.
Beautiful, thank you. So now, Bill, would you be able to take over and see who's would like to ask a question or say something? I want to open up to everybody now. And how much time do we have?
We have like maybe close to 15 minutes.
Okay, all right. So,
Do you mind if I kick off?
oh, no, please.
Just this is a comment more than a question, but it's just the story of your making the film also, Shai. That in itself could be a movie, you know, a little or short documentary. That you actually make. Why don't you do that one if you haven't already maybe thought of that? But the making of, and that's amazing. And I just wanted to say, I mean, the way you were able to enlist these renowned technical and you know, the people that worked on the film, the crew and all the post-production, all the people, it was your vision and your purpose that you expressed it, and they caught that. And that's why they were able to do it for a little or no money, whatever the arrangement was, but not their usual set rates. It was your vision and purpose. And I'm just thinking that it was her vision and purpose that Sister Ronnie Maria, her purpose that you maybe caught that light. And it occurred to me, it's like a light being passed, a candle lighting, and of course, very appropriate in December here. One candle lighting another, and now that light is being connected to all the people who watch it. So thank you very much. Anyway, I'll shut up. Okay, anybody else have a question, please? Everybody's blown away. Whitney, would you unmute, please?
Right. I'm very moved, very touched. It's a very powerful story. Thank you very much. I'm glad the whole world is hearing it, and I wish you all the best with the Oscars. It sounds very likely that the journey is not over yet for this film. And I don't know what my question is. It's did you have a support staff that was around you that kind of helped you? Because it sounds like a singular journey, but I know it's really teams of people, isn't it? That lighting and gaffs, and I don't even know, I'm not a film person, and what kind of music did you use? That I'm interested in.
Right. Whitney, thanks for asking that. The musician, when I met the musician, I told him that, the kind of music that I'm looking forward in this movie, because it needs to be very authentic and needs to match with our theme. And for which he said, yes, I will do. Then I told him, so let's go to the villages. So we traveled to Madhya Pradesh, almost center part of India, and we stayed the tribal villages. And met all the people there and asked them what kind of music it was earlier. And we collected the music. And one of the singers in the film is a very old lady from the village. We recorded the music in the village and got it into the studio and cleaned up. Then put the what all equipment, the equipments which they used earlier, we had to get it. And most of the equipments they don't use now. It's obsolete. And even if the equipments are available, people don't know how to use them.
What are cumins?
When I say equipments, instruments.
Equipment, equipment, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Instruments to play the music. Couldn't hear Whitney? The
Did you have
last.
a theme at all? A theme for the movie musically, or?
Yes, we have. Whitney, I would suggest the film is still running in Lamla theaters in Los Angeles.
I'll definitely
for
go.
another 2 more days.
Oh, great!
Please go and catch it.
Definitely.
Just 2 hours 15 minutes, and the movie has been watched almost all the cardinals and the bishops in Vatican. We had a special screening, and we also met the Pope and did hand over a copy to him, and he was so impressed. I think we should, you people should, just to know the film, I think you should watch it. And your presence will encourage. And you, as you know that, the IMDb rating, IMDb stands for the world's most popular authoritative source for movie, which stands out of 10, we have 9.6. Usually the films get 7, 8. Our film has got 9.6. So
if you go to imdb.com, then you can add your review also.
yes. That's, you may do it after watching the film. I don't want you guys to just give a review, but please watch.
Thank you, Shai. And yeah, seeing it in a theater, that's the way to go.
Yes.
Paul has had his hand up, please. And
yes,
then Mary Grace.
My question, well, how's India doing on all these sort of primitive beliefs, if you will? Excuse me if I'm insulting anyone, but is it getting better, or are they still burning people?
Paul, I couldn't get your question. Could you, can anyone simplify that, please?
So the question is, how's India doing on these kind of beliefs that you're highlighting in the film? Is progress being made, or is it not?
Yes, Paul, yes, but there is a no. There is a no. If you go to the villages, the situation is the same. There is a scene, let me explain to you. There is a scene where one of the farmers is killed, he has been killed using a tractor in the film. Okay, so people asked me, is this still happening in India? So I said, yes. If you Google it and go to the website and type the farmer killing in Rajasthan, this happened just 1 month back. A young man, a farmer, has been killed using a tractor by the landlord, not paying back the money. And again, if you log on to the Google, and you will find a couple of girls has been thrashed because they drank water from the upper caste well. And that's the same that we are depicting in the film. This film comes from the story of almost 28 years back. But I can challenge anyone that the system still existing in India. But if you go to the cities, yes, it has got a cosmopolitan look. People behave differently. So we have two India. One with a glossy face and another still the backside.
Mary Grace, please.
I just so appreciate your film, Shai. And, it keeps coming to my mind of how we have the untouchables in our country with people who are unhoused, who are homeless. and the judgment, you know, from so many people that they're all worthless. They're all, you know, the things that I see on our local media. And, you know, I love that you have the forgiveness incorporated in your film. I think it's a very personal message of maybe we don't have what's called untouchables, and yet we do, and they're called something different. So I just wanted to comment about that. And then also I wondered if after your film is in the theaters, do you expect it to stream, you know, like on Netflix or Prime?
Yes, Mary Grace, we are working on that. It should be there on the stream very soon. We are just waiting. Why? Because according to some of the rules of the Academy, that we cannot put the films on this websites right now. So it might take another a month or two, then we will be on the stream.
Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Welcome. Welcome, Mary Grace.
Okay. Any other questions here? Yes, Jasmine, please.
What was your inspiration for choosing her story? Why her story and not from another person's or person? The nun and her journey instead of someone else. How did you pick her?
Jasmine, could you please
repeat
the story because it was breaking in between?
Okay.
I can repeat it. She was asking why in particular did you choose Sister Mariana rather than someone else? What was your inspiration for her?
Yes, the story, Sister Maria happened to be a nun. That's it. You know, this is not about any religious at all. We don't talk about any religion in the film because there are two people who have watched the film, Bill and Ruth. They would they would say the same thing. It's not about the religion. It's about humanity. It's about one woman, single woman, standing for truth, and which attracted me. You know, how she sacrificed her own life for humanity. I can say for humanity. And that's what I respect. And that's what caught me to make this film.
Can I also say I was really impressed the way that people changed. They call it the story or the character arcs. We see a person who's hard-hearted or, you know, mean or whatever at first, and then being touched by her goodness and her love, and by the end of the movie, they have completely changed. They are so supportive, and that's really they have caught the light, so to speak, too.
Yes. Thank you.
I wanted to add something, Shai, to your comment about it's not about religion. You would think that she went there to convert souls to Christianity, but she doesn't do that at all. She lives her Christianity, and they see who she is as a Christian, but she never once talks about Jesus. She never once tries to get them to leave their Hindu religion behind. And that's the value of it, because a lot of people have been criticizing the Catholic Church of what they did when they went to other countries and how they told the natives that what they believed was bad or evil and so forth. You see none of that here. You see her simply moving into the hearts of the people through her service. And when they realize that she's not interested in converting them, they, in a way, convert themselves to her and her philosophy. And that's what's so special about the film.
I completely agree with you, Ruth, because we don't talk about the religion at all in the film. And she has not, Sister Rani Maria has not converted not a single soul. She has been always helping the poor, meaning that helping the other, whoever it is, in spite of any kind of religious background they belong. Whitney, you are mute. Yes.
Well, it's just so admirable that I love it that the principles of Hinduism probably overlap with Christianity, and there's no reason, in a way, it's a humanitarian cause. It's a personal, I mean, human to human, you know, that's a more powerful kind of statement or message, I'd say, than belong to this religion. No, you need to belong to this religion, or and so bravo, that to me is a very powerful
Yes.
mastery
Thank you.
circle kind of connection that you took to your film. That
Thank you. So I have just put our website details. It's www.thefaceofthefaceless.com, and which has got almost all the details about the film. You people, if you wish, please go through it, and yes, it will give more highlights.
And share it with your friends and tell, let them know about it. Even if it stops screening, they will hear about it. And when it does come back into a theater, they will know something about it. I wanted to just add one more thing about why I think that this film is touched by God. You mentioned all the people, the top level, the cinematographer, the musicians, the editor, and so forth. And Shai and I have been talking about the development of this and talking about to find American distribution and so forth. He was asking for my help. And then at one point he said to me, we found out that in order to qualify for the Oscars, we have to show it for a week, a solid week, 3 times a day in a designated theater in America. You can't just show it in any theater. And he said, do you know of anybody? And so I happened to have met 20 years ago Greg Lemley, who heads the Lemley Theater family group. And I wrote to him, and he called me, and so I had his phone number. And I said, you have been consistently supporting independent filmmakers in this city, people who never would have a chance to show their film if it weren't for you. I said, as a matter of fact, you showed my film 20 years ago at the Fairfax Lemley. So he said, oh, that was a long time ago. I said, yes, but I never forgot you or your family. I said, and I'm writing on behalf of a friend from India. Can you help him so he can qualify? Now, this is just before December. We were talking to him. It was at the end of November, and he only had a month left. And I just think that, when I say touched by God, when the right people show up at the moment to accomplish something that has been destined to be manifested, it just all happens magically. And I think that we need to remember that for ourselves and for our lives, that when we've embarked on something that is beyond us, but we are being used for, that miracles happen. And now that the film was also selected from hundreds of films from around the world to be of the 120, that now they will be reviewed and then nominations will come out of that. So I just see divine workings here in all of this, and I'm thrilled for you, Shai.
Thank you, Ruth, for your kind words, and everyone present over here. One help that which you can do for this film would be, you all have thousands of connections, and we all use so-called the media like Facebook, Instagram. Okay, if you could just write few words. I heard about this film today. Okay, I had the interaction with the director today, and here is the poster of the film. And if you can spread across to the people, because the story needs to reach to the people, and the people like you, I am sure that you will love this story, and please spread this message across, because I do not have enough bank balance to put a huge poster outside LA and say that the film is coming to the town or is being screened, or I do not have huge bank balance to put about this film and hire the people to speak about the film. So therefore, I think we need hearts. We need pure hearts to come forward and share this message.
Beautiful. Shai, thank you so much. This has been an inspiring, beautiful presentation this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mastery Circle. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Ruth, and everyone present over here. Thanks, a huge thanks to you, all of you, and have a blessed day ahead for each one of us.
I think I can speak for everyone, Shai, that we will be so rooting for you with the Oscars.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm going to send it out to a bunch of people at church.
Thank you, Mary Grace. You have been helping me from the day one. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.